What's good, ladies and gents? Welcome back to MKO Boxing, aka MKO Pugilism, where we talk all things boxing. Remember to like and subscribe on YouTube, follow on TikTok, all that good stuff. So let's get into today's subject at hand. So this is one of them where I'm sure a lot of people would have heard of this already, but a lot of people now are now questioning and talking about whether Dmitry Bivol is ducking David Benavidez. And that is because David Benavidez has now been given the WBC light heavyweight title. He's not won it from Dmitry Bivol, who's currently, in my view at least, still the undisputed light heavyweight champion. He's not won it from him, but it's been given to him because Dmitry Bivol has basically given it up, as he has been given the offer to fight Artur Beterbiev in a third fight. So there's a lot of people going around claiming that Bivol is ducking Benavidez and etc., putting him in kind of a bad light. And there's others that say the opposite. And for me personally, I think you could argue that it is a duck because you've got a guy there in Benavidez who is, he's in the rightful position. He's the man that deserves a shot, that should be getting a title shot at Bivol. And because of the rematch, the third fight, he's not being given the shot. So in a sense, yes, I wouldn't really get overly argumentative over that one. I think as much as I don't believe this is a case of Bivol being afraid of Benavidez, I don't think that's the case at all. But at the end of the day, if there's a fight there with Benavidez, you're taking another fight against a guy that you just beat. Although the fight was close, it's a guy you just beat. Then yeah, you could call it that. You could call it kind of a duck because he's not fighting the guy that's next up. But I would say to look at the full picture of what this is, you've also got to look at the other side, which is that Bivol has essentially gone, where the money is going to be a lot more, because the fact of the matter is that if he goes and fights Beterbiev, all these B's here, if he goes and fights Beterbiev, obviously no one is going to pay better than Turkey Al Sheikh. No one's going to pay better than him. So as far as the money goes, he's going to get a lot more money fighting Beterbiev than he would get defending his WBC belt against Benavidez. That's clear. So money-wise, him going on to fight that third fight is going to generate a lot more money. So he's going to get paid a lot better. So he would take a financial loss going down kind of the WBC route. And I would also say that you could argue that, well, Bivol and Beterbiev are 1-1, and the same way that Bivol got his immediate rematch is the same way Beterbiev, through the fact that he's beaten Bivol the first time, lost the second time. You could argue, well, as much as we say Benavidez deserves his shot, so does Beterbiev, because he's the man that beat this guy, and then the rematch and the third fight is like the decider. And I think, yeah, I can see that. I think it's a two-pronged thing, really. On one side, if you're a Benavidez fan, you can say, yeah, this is just ducking. But if you're not, if you look at it from another angle, you could say, well, you've also got Beterbiev there, who's actually beaten Bivol, and then he's just lost his fight, so he deserves his shot just as much. But for me personally, I think as far as what I'd like to see, I personally would rather see Benavidez get his shot against Bivol next, and then have Beterbiev as the man that fights the winner of that fight. I think that's a more fair solution, because by this third fight, it would be like them holding the belts hostage, and for however long. But I think that the right thing would be that you allow Benavidez to fight Bivol, give him his shot at the title, and then whoever wins out of Benavidez and Bivol will then go on to fight Artur Beterbiev. That might, I suppose, then be unfair to other contenders behind Benavidez. So, there'll always be problems no matter what. But I think that would be a fairer solution. And I think it would be more interesting to see Benavidez versus Bivol, because, as I say, rematches are great, but I don't think they always have to be consecutive. And I think we've seen this fight twice. It will be a brilliant fight when we see it a third time, but I think it doesn't need to be consecutive, one after the other after the other. I don't think it needs to be like that. I think there can be things in between, and that's why, for me, I'm not saying it's a duck, but I'd much rather see the Benavidez Bivol fight, because it's something different. It's something we haven't seen before. As much as the other fight, Beterbiev Bivol, or Bivol Beterbiev, is going to be very, very, very hard fight. It's a difficult fight, and a very good fight as well. But I think I want to see something a bit different now and then go back. But it looks like I, along with many others, are not going to get the wish, and I suppose probably just comes down to money at the end of the day, because you're going to get so much more money doing this third fight. So that's my view on it. Let me know what your opinion is in the comment section. Until next time, it's MKO Boxing, over and out.